Welcome to Calm Desk. There are some conversations that don't look dramatic at all. Nothing sharp is said, nothing obviously wrong happens. And yet, when it ends, you feel tired. Not the kind of tired sleep fixes, a quieter kind. The kind that settles in your chest and lingers longer than the conversation itself. You walk away feeling foggy, heavy, a little less like yourself. And you can't explain why. But the reason isn't random. Some people don't drain you by being cruel or loud. They drain you by how the space shifts when they enter it. The conversation slowly becomes about them, their feelings, their urgency, their version of events. You listen, you nod, you hold space. And somewhere along the way, you stop checking in with yourself. You don't interrupt. You don't redirect. You don't fully arrive. You start managing the interaction instead of experiencing it. That's where the tiredness begins. Because what you're doing isn't just listening, you're regulating the room. You're tracking their mood, you're choosing your words carefully so nothing escalates, offends, or collapses. Your body is working the whole time, even when your face looks calm, even when your voice sounds steady. Your nervous system knows when the exchange isn't equal. It knows when you're giving presence without being received. And it keeps score. That's why you feel depleted afterward. Not because you talked too much, but because you held more than your share. Some people unconsciously lean on others to stabilize themselves. They don't ask, they don't announce it, they just lean. And if you're empathetic, reflective, emotionally aware, you become the surface they rest on. You absorb, you soften, you contain until you leave the conversation feeling like something has been taken, even though nothing obvious was given. That's emotional labor, and it's exhausting. There's a difference between connection and consumption, between mutual exchange and quiet extraction. Healthy conversations leave you feeling expanded, clearer, more grounded. Unhealthy ones leave you questioning yourself. You replay what you said. You wonder if you were too much or not enough. You feel the need to recover afterwards. And here's something important: your exhaustion is not a flaw, it's information. It's your body saying, "This took more from me than I received." You don't need dramatic fallout to justify distance. You don't need to label someone toxic to protect your energy. Sometimes the only signal you get is how you feel when it's over. And that is enough. You're allowed to limit conversations that cost you clarity. You're allowed to shorten interactions that leave you tense. You're allowed to step back from people who require you to shrink, soften, or disappear just to keep the peace. Not every connection deserves unlimited access. Peace doesn't come from cutting people off aggressively. It comes from choosing yourself quietly, from noticing patterns, from respecting your body's response, from leaving earlier, emotionally, energetically, even if you stay polite on the surface. Sometimes the most self respecting thing you can do is stop explaining your exhaustion and start honoring it. Because the people who are meant to stay won't drain you to be close. They'll meet you and you'll feel it, not in intensity, but in ease.